Hey there, mamas! You are listening to Release Your Inner Power podcast, where we talk about having both me time and being the best mom, sharing stories, encouragement, and tips for taking the steps to release that inner power and that mom guilt. I'm your host, Shauna B. Here we go. One quick thing before we get started. I will be doing a drawing for a fun gift each month. Here are 3 ways to enter. You can email me to share your juicy takeaways, topic ideas you want to hear, or share a story. Share this podcast on social media and tag me with what episode you listened to and what you learned or loved about it. And if you leave a review, you will get 2 entries into the drawing. I will announce the winner the last week of each month. Okay, let's get started. What's up, you guys? I'm so excited to be doing this, and I'm so excited that you're here and listening. This episode, I was just going to title it as Who Am I? For 2 reasons. One, I want to introduce myself a little bit, so you can kind of know who I am, where I came from, why did I get started, why am I even here? And then I'm going to tie it in a little bit at the end. So, my name is Shauna B. I am a mom, a life coach, healthcare worker, adventure seeker, and memory maker, known as the memory maker in my family. I'm a mom of 3. I have a 17-year-old, I have an 8-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old, 2 boys and a girl. I am a life coach as of 2 years ago. I have been a healthcare worker for 22 years. When you think about it, it's like, wait, what? 22 years? Yeah, 22 years. Adventure seeker for probably, I don't even know, 7 to 10 years, and a memory maker all my life. One of the things that's really important to me is when you look back, when you get older and you look back on things, you want to have all of these cool memories, have all of these, trips or special time or, oh, I remember that was so cool type feeling. And like the heck yeah, I did that kind of stuff, And so those types of things are really important. I value that in my family. So how did I get started in all this business? What is a little bit? There's so many stories that I could share with you guys, which I will be sharing with you guys. So I'm just going to give you a couple of them just to, where you can kind of get to know me and know who the heck I am. I started my own journey of taking care of me a long time ago. I really started probably back in, I want to say like 2011, 10? Shoot. It could have been earlier than that. It could have been like 2009. Somewhere around in there. I started working with a group of people and a woman because I was, going through, I had just lost my father and gone through a really bad breakup. And, I was going through counseling and I was trying to, figure that out and work on that kind of stuff. At the same time, I'm like, there has to be more here. There has to be more that I can be doing for myself. Like, I'm just like living, like I'm just on this wheel. I'm just doing the thing, but I want to bring things to me. I want to bring things into my life. There has to be more. This is just not it. You don't just wake up every day and do the same thing and then like hope things just pop in, And but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what that actually was. And so I started doing this like internal work of like, how can I make myself better? How can I be better for, at the time I had one kiddo, my firstborn, and he, I wanted to be better for him. There was a lot of stuff going on. I call them tornadoes, things that just blow through your life and upheave everything, which is why I call them a tornado, right? And then you have to pick up all the pieces and put them back together, and it may not look the same as it did before, but you still have to do all of that stuff. And when you are a mom and you have a kid, it's a different level, right? You have to not only do it for yourself, but do it for them. And I started realizing, like, holy, like, I need to do this to show him how to do this. Like, when hard stuff is going to come because life is here, right? I need to show him, like, this is how you pick up the pieces and put it back together and how you want to do it. And how do you want this to look after, X tornado runs through your life and upheaves it. And however I respond is how he's taking notes. And it was kind of like an eye-opener for me. And so for about 7 years, I was working on myself and really paying attention to myself and checking in with myself. What do I really want? How can I live to be a better person, to be less judgmental, to have more compassion and empathy for people, to really listen to people and hear them, to be there for them, but is also teaching me who I am as well. And then leading by example for my son. It's like this big old triangle of awesomeness happening, but I wasn't realizing it because I was just trying to be like a better version of myself, right? And then probably, I don't know, I want to say 7 years ago, another tornado came through my life and I ended up getting a divorce. And it was a struggle. At that time, I now have 3 children. I'm still in healthcare. And, my expectation and picture was of this family, and I was going to be married, to this man for the rest of my life. And, I had this whole expectation of what it was going to be. And now this tornado has come through and just thrown all the pieces up. And it was like, I felt like, where do I go from here? At the same time, who am I? Who am I now that I am this single mom of 3 kids and my life is going to be different? When you go from sharing your life with somebody to not, you are, but it's in a different way, right? But you're not in each other's space all the time. Who am I? What is this even going to look like? How am I going to do this? Like, whoa, I'm a single mom of 3 kids. Like, okay, no pressure, like it was kind of a lot. And just to digest it, you have to like work through all of the stuff. You have to feel all the feels. You have to go through the motions. You can't stuff them. You can't swish them away. You have to do all of this stuff. Otherwise, you turn into a total crabby mom. You're like snipping and yelling at them. And then everybody's grouchy and then everything. And then more tornadoes happen. It's like, okay, hold on a second. You have to get back up a second. You have to check in. Like, this is where I was like, this is where the veil kind of like, where the fog, I should say, really lifted for me, is like, this is where I need to like really apply the stuff that I've been learning and kind of go deeper here. So I started to do that. It kind of like pushed me to really look at what I value and want in my life and what I need in order to be happy, but from me. How can I do that for myself, which in turn is going to lift my kids up and boost them up so much more, right? So I'm like, ooh, how can I do this? Like, how can this be so much better? How can this be better than it already is? Right? And when you've just had a tornado come through and you're like picking up all the pieces and stuff, you can only get better from here. It's how you want to put them back together. So I started with so many different things, like, just different routines, different habits. Oh, we're going to start new traditions because everything is different, and playing around with what you like. And I even had conversations with my kids like, hey, what do you guys want to do? What do you guys like? Should we start this? Or I would try it and see how it goes. And some things stuck and some things didn't, and that's fine. But we've made our own way and our own path with picking up the pieces together and putting them back together to move forward. And that's what really pushed me to really get into the self-help, really get into the self-care and the backing up and checking in and making time for me, claiming my time as a mom and really doing all that stuff so I can boss up with my kids. And when I mean boss up, I mean like I can be there for them. If they want to lose their shit one day because their shoe doesn't fit right or their sock is crooked or whatever, instead of me getting frustrated, they're frustrated, we're all frustrated, and everybody's friggin' morning is ruined and we're running late to school and now you're late to your job or whatever. It's like, all of that. Like that, it made me slow down and be able to really allow them to, figure out like, what is frustrating here? How can we fix this? Like problem solve, but in like a calmer way So everyone is not all rah, and like high emotions and things, And so it helped me a ton with that. Not to mention claiming my time for me. So, and every time it's different. I have to check in to see what that is for me as well, right? Whether that's, you know, just taking 10 minutes. Like I have a saying in my house, you need to go somewhere right now. I need a second. I need a couple of minutes. So I need you to go somewhere, play, do something else. And my kids are like, okay. And they'll go do that. If I need like immediate 2 minutes or whatever to calm down, take a break, check in with myself, breathe, whatever that may be, and then go from there. Or I will take a night out, call up my cousin, call up my friend. Hey girl, you want to go out to dinner? You want to go have a drink? You want to go to lunch? I don't care. You want to go to brunch? Pick one. But do you want to, connect, like fill myself up that way? Or sometimes I will go on weekend getaways, or I will go into nature where I'm completely disconnected from everything. And I have to really be there and really be present. Like those are my 3 main ways that I have totally discovered in my journey through all of the things. So now after the divorce and like coming up with all these ways and coming up with how to put back the pieces and new routines and new habits and new ways of checking in and new ways of really tending to myself, COVID hits, right? And it's crazy because when COVID hit at first, I'm a healthcare worker, so I was in the hospital and I was like, for real? I'm like, oh man, this is happening in my lifetime. And I'm like, how am I going to handle this? Because I could go 2 ways. I could freak out and like just be scared. Or how can I work with this? How can I protect myself? How can I do this the right way to protect my family and protect myself? And, it's interesting because COVID was so stressful. It was so stressful. It was a lot of pressure. And then you have, shelter in place and all the things. I mean, I don't need to rehash this out with you guys because everybody lived it. Everybody knows, but it sucked. There was on so many different levels. Now, some ways it was awesome because people got more time together. You could really evaluate certain situations together, and see how you could still connect with people without actually I'm a people person. So I had to figure out how I could connect with people without seeing them. I mean, I still saw my coworkers, but that was shenanigans at work because of everything that was happening. So it was not a normal couple of years. But we had to figure out ways of connecting and doing all of the things, right? Well, also with COVID and being stressful and all of these protocols changing every day. And for us, we had like a way of doing things and we'd find out something new. So now we're shifting this and the rules were changing and it was all confusing and it was messy. And it was like another tornado came through, right? And so we're having to figure out all these ways to fix it, protect ourselves. What's the next step? What are we going to do next? Let's see how is it lessening? Is it this or that? It was a lot. And I am very vocal to, my patients at work, as far as sticking up for them and my coworkers on what's going to protect them. And I did that a lot in this case. Like if I saw something that I was like, wait, how is that going to work? Because that's going to, contaminate this. And then now we're not protected. And then we could take it home to our family. So I'm like, let's try this idea. I spoke up a lot and tried to be kind of like that person that would be helpful to the scenario and help things out. It was very taxing to the point where it pretty much put my fire out. I've always been a person that loves helping people and just being there for them. I mean, that is why I chose healthcare, is because I wanted to do something that was going to help somebody get better. I wanted to do something that was going to really help somebody when they needed it. And I chose healthcare to do that as a way of me, helping this person better their life or themselves or get better, health-wise or depending on what the situation is. Because that's a scary place to be in. And I've always loved it. I love my job. I love going to work. I loved all of that. And it got to the point where it was like, I don't want to go to work. I don't even want to wake up and go into work. I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. I can't do it anymore. It was just, I couldn't do it anymore. It almost put my fire out. And I was like, I have to do something else that's going to ignite my fire. I have to do something that is going to give me something in my belly that I can feel awesome about, that I can help somebody. I just need something, right? And I mulled over this for probably a good 6 months, just being curious about things, trying different stuff. And that's when coaching came up for me. And it kind of goes back to the very beginning of when I was said, like, I was with a counselor and I'm like, there has to be more. There has to be something that can like help me with the direction of where I want to go and where I want to be and all of that. And that's what coaching is. It's like locking arms with somebody and like having an accountability partner. And it's like, you're sharing with this coach, this is where I want to be. This is what I want in my life. This is what I want to do for myself. And this coach is like, heck yeah, come on, let's do this, girl. And you like lock arms and you help them get to where they want to be faster. And you can guide them in a way that's like encouraging and motivating, but also, being like, like checking in with them, like being your girl, like being like, hey, that ain't working for you. That's not working for you here. Or is that really working for you? Or, and like being somebody to like listen to and support. And I was like, that is what I want to do. That is what I want to do. I want to help people get to where they want to be faster, for them to be happier, for them to be like, heck yeah, I just did that. That's what I wanted. And so I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to open up my own business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to help people. And so I did it. I went to school. I went to school. I opened up my own business. I have encouraged, motivated, helped, guided. I've talked to people. It's been so cool to see the strides that have just come out, or people have like released this like inner power that they have been able just to boss up and get this heck yeah. And and level up and just be like excited about it, and to hear their excitement, it like makes my hair stand up on my arms. It's so cool. And so I just love that. I just love all of it. And I love connecting with, other people and chatting with them. It's just an amazing thing that I'm so happy and thankful that I listened, and like as far as like what I truly wanted and what truly felt good to me, which is how I got here, right? I was like, what is another way that I can connect with people and that I can help them or give them something, or just talk about stories that maybe aren't really talked about, and just like have some kind of like relatability with people, which is why I'm starting this. This is what I want, sharing stories, funny, sad, mad stories, things that are going on, all of that. I want all of it here, just all out to chat about. I really just, I don't know. I really just want to encourage, motivate, and help. Like, even if it's just a little something that's going to ignite someone to want more and to go out and get it, or feel heard, or feel seen. Because as mamas, as you know, you get lost in all these tornadoes. You can get lost in the tornado of a divorce, or a complicated relationship, or all the to-do lists. Or, I mean, let's be real, guys. Like, moms have so many things. We have so many things to do. I mean, dads do too. Dads do too. As mamas, we're like we're like the master jugglers, like of schedules and routines of other people's as well as our own. Some of us are working moms, some of us are not, some of us are stay-at-home mamas. Either way, it's work. That is work to be done. It is life to be lived. It is like planning a vacation, for Pete's sakes, or just planning the week with all of the after-school activities in the school, and picking up and drop-offs and where they're going to go if you're working or when they come home, you got to do this. Like, it's all about schedule and time, right? It's all about time and doing all of the things. So it kind of goes back to the question of who am I? Because you can get lost in that, right? You can kind of get lost in all of the to-dos, or I got to do this for, my kiddos. And you end up putting yourself on the back burner. You can end up getting into the habit of, I'll just do that for me later because that's not as important, or because my kids are important. Yes, abso-friggin-lutely, your kids are important. Your kids are so important. Your kids obviously are like you just have so much love for them. It's like so hard to describe, right? Like how much you love your kiddos. It's like so hard to I just love you so much, like it's just this hard thing to describe as moms. But of course you want what's best for them and you want to be there for them, and they're only with you for a short time. And so you want to have those special memories. You want to have that special time. You want to watch them grow up, and you want to do it happy, and you want to do it with joy. And you want to do it with like, yes, I am me and I am the best mom. You can have both. It is not an either or. It is a both. That is what I'm hoping to ignite in somebody, right? I want there to be like a yes, that is possible. Yes, that you can have that. So you know who you are through all of these tornadoes. You know who you are, when your kids are in your life and then they grow up and then they move out. Like I have a 17-year-old and he's going to be moving out in the next 1-2 years. I mean, I haven't really talked about it yet with him. Just trying to get through the last year of high school. And then after that, like he could be leaving and then I'm going to have 2, right? It's like it's this whole process that we have to go through. But I truly believe that regardless, we have to go through that whole process of, like the birds fleeing the nest, if you will. And as you are your own individual and being a mama, being that best mom and like being that guide, that lighthouse for them, it is easier to go through all of these tornadoes when you go to that mind gym that I'll be talking about a lot. When you go to that mind gym and you get your thoughts right and you get the mom guilt right, and you can, I'm not saying that the feelings aren't going to be there because that's not reality. Like they're going to be there. You're going to go through the motions. But you're going to be stronger because you're keeping yourself strong. When you live from a full cup and you live for your kids with your tank full, it's so much better. It's so much better than when you're running on empty all the time. I've been there. I've been there numerous times in my life. Hamster wheel over and over and over again. And you got to like jump right off that hamster wheel and let's get off the hamster wheel. Let's get off that back burner. Let's figure this out. Let's figure out what there is to tick. What superpower do you have? Because all of us have these superpowers, multiple superpowers. But which ones are yours? Tap into those so you can bring back all of that stuff. So you can not be in a position of like, who am I? What is happening? What is going on? Craziness all around. Tornadoes here, tornadoes there. What is actually going on, right? So where when a tornado comes through, it's almost like, okay, you're in the storm. You're allowing it to pass. You're feeling all of the things. And then when the pieces get to the ground, you're like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready. I felt all the feels, did all the things, and pick up all the pieces and go from there. So you're not like, you're not in the fog. You're not, you don't want to get to the meh stage and just hamster wheel and like, have you ever seen that movie Groundhog's Day where the guy wakes up and it's like the same day over and over and over again? Let's not do that. Let's do something different, right? And so I'm hoping that all these stories that I share with you and, different juicy tidbits and things just to think about, like planting little seeds to think about. I hope it helps. That's why I'm here. I really hope it helps. I just want to help somebody, speak to somebody's, touch somebody's heart, and bring back that heck yeah in their day. Give you a little bit of insight on who I am and why I'm here. Give you an idea of why I'm doing this. Another episode will be coming out soon. I just want to say thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, learned something new, or got a juicy takeaway that will bring in that heck yeah back into your life. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to subscribe. If you love the show, want to share a story, comment below. If you know someone that would love or need this episode, be sure to share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. Tag me and find me on social media at Ignited Decisions on Instagram and Shauna with Ignited Decisions on Facebook. I would love to know what episode you listened to and how it helped you, as well as connect on social. Okay, mamas, claim your time and release your inner power.